This is O-Talk, a podcast covering the Ontario Hockey League. From people within the game. Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the O-Talk podcast. We are joined by another amazing guest. That's right. We know people in the league. I think that's just going to be my tagline now, Frankie. We know people in the league. That's not a word of a lie. We just know people. Today, we are honored to be joined. Well, it's just me and Frankie, but we are honored to be joined by Beau Jelsma, forward for the Barrie Colts, for your Barrie Colts. Currently third place in the Eastern Conference, but we are honored to be joined by another phenomenal guest, phenomenal player, phenomenal person. Beau Jelsma, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So Beau, for the people tuning in on YouTube right now, audio people unfortunately can't see it, but Beau's face looks great. And 2 days ago, maybe it might not have looked as good as it does now, because 2 days ago or whatever it was last week, he got hit in the face with the puck against London. Swelled up pretty good, had to get some stitches. But Beau, how are you feeling after that whole incident? Take us through it.
I definitely feel much better today, but when I got hit there, it was last Thursday against London. Yeah, it sucked. I got hit. It hurt for like maybe a couple seconds, and then the whole face just went numb. So I can't feel too much in my face yet because it's still kind of swelled up, but I got about 6 stitches along the nose here. It cut it right open, and I'm doing better now, but yeah, it was not a fun experience at all.
No broken bones. And were you back in the lineup against Owen Sound on Saturday? Or not
We
Owen Sound,
played.
Sudbury. Sorry.
Yeah, we played. I played on Saturday night. I was wearing the fishbowl, so
Tough
yeah, it was
customer
good.
right here. That's
Yeah,
like a hockey person like 101 right there. Get hit in the face with a puck and then you're back in the game like a couple days later. Like just change up the helmet a little bit, but that's great. That's great. Good to see that
yeah.
you're doing better.
My smile's not too pretty right now. I got this side hanging down a little lower than the other, but it is what it is, I guess.
Perfect. Well, how are you feeling overall? I mean, aside from the physical stuff, like what's the vibe around the team? I mean, I'm there like a lot, but obviously from a player perspective, it's a little different. So what's the team's vibe right now, would you say?
Yeah, really good. Honestly, we got a super tight team this year. Good chemistry in the room, and honestly, we're just trying to get better every day and get ready for playoffs because truly, that's the biggest time of the year, and we're looking to go deep in the playoffs and
Yeah.
try to win the whole thing this year.
So speaking of the team, who do you think we just had the country night on Saturday and those outfits were wild pregame, but who do you think has the best overall style on the team?
Um, there's a couple guys. I mean, I sit beside Jacklin in the room. I think Jacqueline got good style. He's one day he's like a city guy, and then the next day he's got the jeans and the flannel on. So I love that, right? So I think Declan's got some of the best style on the team.
How would you rate your own style walking into the rink?
Brutal, brutal. But I mean, like if we're out in the country, I'd have some pretty good style. So I'll get the jeans on and the boots, and but yeah, honestly, going to the rink, I'm usually just in like Lululemon pants or something simple. I'm not too crazy. So
Well, speaking of that country, there are a lot of reasons why I wanted to bring you on the show personally, just because it just seemed fun, but also what
yeah,
you do in the off season is arguably even more fun than like a talk show or even like playing hockey, some may argue. So this was turned into a bit of a video feature that we did last summer, also a feature story that we did last season when Gels was a rookie. But Beau, man, what do you do in the off season that is so intriguing, especially to some city folk like Frankie and I, and probably the grand majority of the listeners on the show?
yeah. It's not just the hockey and the training, right? Obviously, that's my first priority in the summer. So like honestly, a day is I get up, I train, go to the rink, chill with the guys, and then I actually where I work out is on a farm. It's in a barn. We call it the shed, so it's pretty cool. Flipping tires and out in on the fresh air, as I would say, and after all that's done, I go to the farm, and I work for a guy in the summer there, and he's got a beef cattle farm, so there's lots of different scenarios going on a farm, right? One day I'm out cleaning up the cow shit, right? Or, another day I'm out there picking up bales or I'm treating calves. So it's honestly, it's whatever the farm throws at you, you got to do. So it's fun, honestly. It's very unique. Not a lot of people are, interested in the farming stuff. And, I really, really love to do it. And I think it ties in nicely with the hockey.
So not only does Beau work on a farm, he works out in a farm as well. So that's a
Yeah.
pretty cool tidbit. So Beau, do you like love cows now, or was that like a did you love them when you started, or was like did they kind of have to grow on you a little?
I honestly didn't think much of it. I thought when my first time there with the cows, I was like, holy cow, like, these things are huge, right? And it's kind of a big responsibility for me, but now it's honestly, it's kind of whatever. I mean, I go to work and that's my job for the day. So I got to do what I got to do to get it done. And, it's pretty cool though to hang with those animals and, everything's different, right? So.
I
Yeah.
love the holy cow too. When we're
I was
talking
just
about
about to
cows.
say he threw that in there. I think that was casual actually.
It was. I just caught myself saying that.
So obviously the Colts traveled out to London or closer to where you're from earlier this year. Was that like a special game for you? Did you have a lot of friends and family there? Just because like that was probably the closest game like geographically to your area out there.
No, that was a huge game for me. I was so excited. I remember we had just played the weekend before, and the whole week I was just so excited to go back home and play. Because last year during COVID, we didn't get to play there, so I was pretty bummed out about that. But I had a lot of family, I think I had like 60 or 70 people that I knew from my town go to that game, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. I remember our game got delayed because there's a little incident. So we went out for warm-ups and the place was just packed because the game was delayed. So the whole
Yeah.
arena was already filled, and I'm looking around. I'm like, holy, there's a lot of people here. And then all my family and friends are on the glass. And no, it was a really special night for me.
Well, I mean, to have that like homecoming experience in a place like London is just incredible. I had the pleasure of going out with the team for that game. That place is just different, I think, than some of the other rinks that we have in the OHL. And if like any fans have the chance to go out for a game, like that is probably one of the premier places you can probably catch an OHL game.
For sure.
Just an incredible environment.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough I scored too. So it was nothing special, the goal. It was like as I got real lucky is like I put it on net and it squeaked in somehow. And you know what? I didn't even know it went in at one point. And I go and celebrate with all the guys, and all I hear is my family friend just screaming from the top bowl. And they couldn't even get tickets because it was Remembrance Day, so it was all sold out. And all I could hear them from the top bowl. So it was pretty cool.
So, Beau, actually, I don't know if you know this, but I have a fun story in connection with that. Is because during your goal, I was like in the roof in the catwalk, like taking photos, and the noise from like one section of the upper bowl was absolutely electric, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, who is that? Like, who is that? That was crazy. So it's good to hear. Honestly, great to see that you got to experience that moment. So moving forward, like looking ahead a bit to the future, unfortunately you didn't hear your name called at last year's draft, but you come back this season, looked even better than last year, to be honest. Can you take us back, maybe provide some insight on how last year's draft process went and like what you're going through personally now, trying to look forward? Like obviously you're trying to enjoy your junior career as much as possible, but maybe shed some light on what's possible or what's happening in the cards moving on after this.
Yeah, obviously last year, I missed my first year because of COVID there. So came in right into my draft year. I didn't think much of it. I just went out there and played some hockey. And, I got lucky last year. I learned a lot from the guys around me. And, I popped a couple goals in last year. And I didn't really think much of it. And, I came in the summer. I was talking to some teams and, I was like, oh, I'm not sure. Maybe it'll happen or not. I wasn't too sure. And, it didn't end up happening. Obviously, that sucked, but I was very fortunate to go to Toronto and Florida's development camp, which I learned a ton from. It was nice to it's nice to learn, how the NHLers do it. And, it was a good summer. Obviously, I was kind of down on myself because I didn't get drafted, but, I kept going, kept working hard. And I went back to Florida there in September and went to rookie tournament. And I didn't end up making main camp, but, just I remember getting in there and I was on the bike and I seen Matthew Tkachuk beside me riding the bike. So it was awesome. It was really cool to kind of pick his brain and, just learn new things from everybody else. But honestly, I had a terrible start to the year this year for me. Very, very slow start.
Holy cow, just ripping on himself right now. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I didn't notice it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I went, first 5 games, pointless. I didn't get a single point, and I just wasn't playing like myself. And, just talking to people around me is, what, I just got to work harder and I got to keep pushing forward and not give up. And, that's what I did. And I think I got myself in a pretty good spot now. But at the end of the day, you just got to keep working hard and, good things will happen. And, obviously, I just love the game of hockey. And if it brings me to the next level, then, I'd be super happy for that. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and keep working hard and getting better. And hopefully something comes my way in the near future.
For sure, man. I mean, those development camps are definitely a great experience, especially for a young guy. And speaking of that experience, like, has there been anyone on the team now, since we have not to brag, but we have a lot of NHL drafted guys like on our team now. Yeah. Has any of them lended a hand to you personally to kind of help with that process and tell you to keep at it or whatever it may be?
Yeah, actually, Ethan Cardwell there, he went undrafted his first year. So he knew exactly how I was feeling. And I remember right after the draft, a second was over, I got a text from Cardsy, and he was saying, "You know what, man, you're a great player. Just keep going. It's just a draft, and you're a great player, and good things will happen." So, even when I was going through some tough times this year, all the guys around me were helping me out. I was learning new things. Coaches were great with me, and it's just been a great experience.
And now everything's positive because Gels is playing great and the team is winning. Everything is great. Playoffs are right around the corner, obviously. The excitement is really high right now. So last one for you, Gels, before I toss it over to Frankie here. You talk about not playing like yourself and you're not the biggest guy out there, but you still play like really physical, almost that fearless brand of hockey. How did you kind of make that game you? Like, how did you kind of build yourself into that role and still find ways to contribute in other areas of the game?
Honestly, for me, it all boils down to working hard. When I'm not working hard, you can really see it. And, working hard is all over the ice, battling in the corners, making nice plays in the O zone, making plays in the D zone, dialing in on the defense. So, it all boils down to working hard. And, like my dad told me when I was a kid, if you work hard, good things will happen. And obviously, you got to work real smart too. And, but for me, a big one is working hard.
Nice. Anyways, thanks for answering my questions. I'm going to toss it over to Frankie here. He might not be as big of a Beau Jelsma fan as I am, but I'm sure he has some good questions to ask. So go ahead, right. Frankie.
You know what, Josh, as you know, I'm a noted Luca Pinelli fan. So, but I want to start with, kind of looking at the playoff race itself right now, because at one time it looked like you guys wouldn't be able to touch North Bay, but you've played your way into, within 3 points now. Still, 6 games to go, I believe, Josh? So
yeah, give or take we have a game in hand over them, but give or take 6 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how much thought goes into, that chase right now? Like, where are you guys at in the locker room when it comes to catching North Bay?
To be honest, we don't even think about it. We have this thing in our room where we just think about the game that's at hand. So, we play Wednesday. We're focused in on Wednesday. We're not worrying about the standings and who we're going to play and what's coming up the weekend. We take it game by game, and I think that's great. Prepare for each team that's ahead of you, and we'll see where it brings us.
What flipped for the Colts? Was it as simple as right before you guys got super hot that Frank Clark was coming back and you guys kind of realized that piece was coming back, or was there philosophy? Like, what happened before you guys got really hot and have since played some great hockey?
To be honest, we didn't have a great start to the year. I think it was about December where we kind of flipped the switch, and honestly, I think we were just sick and tired of the up and downs and the losing, and the crappy feeling after a game. And we all came together. We had some team meetings, and we were like, hey, what are we going to do to fix this and become a great team? And I really think it was the little details of how you're going to do this and how you're going to do that. And I think the leadership group on our team and even the coaches, we all just kind of bought in and bought into the system. And I think we've really proven ourselves that we can be a good team this year.
How difficult, especially like the Eastern Conference this year has been, 9 teams deep. I think outside of Niagara, everybody is competitive every single night. So was it difficult in your estimation to be able to turn that and come out? Because every game has been a dogfight.
100%. I mean, like our coach said, it's hard to win in this league. Anybody can win on any given night. So, I mean, that's actually great to have because it keeps you on your toes, because truly by the end of the year, the best team does win because the best team, will be able to play every night the same. And, and obviously you're going to have the bad games, but it's been good for us. And, the nights that we haven't been great, we've been nailed for it and we've lost. And, we come back the next morning and we take a look at the video and we take a look at, what we can do better. And we honestly gain experience and we learn from it and come back later and, show what we can do.
There's 2 guys I want to pick your brain about a little bit here. First one is, we'll start with Brant Clark. Just because we have to talk about Brant and what he brought to this team coming back. I mean, you played with him last year and this year. So did you notice any different? Like, was he more mature or whatever when he came back from LA?
I can still remember the first practice that when he came back. He was just right from the World Juniors there, and we were practicing, and I look and I'm just watching. I'm like, wow. Like, this guy is awesome. He's a pro. He acts like a pro. He works hard like a pro. On the ice, I was learning new things from him that I didn't think I would learn. And just the way he goes about things is, being a pro. And, I'm starting to learn how to do that. And it's been really good for our team.
The other guy I want to ask you about is a guy that I miss very dearly, in Ethan Quick. Josh, don't laugh, okay?
I'm sorry.
I was going to ask about Ethan.
I can't help it.
How has he integrated himself into the team when he's been around? And I think in Ottawa he was a noted favorite for he's a genuine dude.
Cookie's awesome. He's one of the best guys on our team. Just every day, you can have a conversation with the guy. He's really great to get to know. I remember when I first met him, it's like just instant like that. We were buddies, and he's just a really easy guy to talk to and just an overall good room guy. So, he's awesome. The boys love him, and I'm so happy he got traded to us.
We'll end it with just the feeling around Barrie right now. When you look at your teammates, you look at coaches, you skate out on the ice for warm up and you see Colts fans everywhere. Like, what's that feeling like right now?
It's awesome. We got at the start of the year, we weren't selling out our rink, and, now that we're starting to win some games, the fans are just awesome. We're selling out almost every night, and, warm-ups are just packed, and just the energy in the arena is just awesome. Everyone just feels like everyone's breathing down your neck. It's great. And, the guys, we're all super excited for playoffs. We can't wait. It's, that's the biggest time of the year. And, to keep playing hockey for longer is, what you want to do. And honestly, we're just super excited.
Well, thank you for the great questions, Frankie. Those were amazing. Beau,
like those, they were good at.
Yeah, they were solid. They were solid. Beau, thanks so much for hopping on the show. Frankie and I, obviously, and Jordan are all rooting for you over here. Always will, because you're just a fun guy to cheer for, just in general.
Yeah,
really appreciate you hopping on. Best of luck for the playoffs, and can't wait to get on the bus with you guys and ride that wave as well. So appreciate it. Best of luck moving forward.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having me on.